What's going on, everybody? So I was just thinking, what do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done? And the reason this came to me is because I was just having a conversation with God, and I was just asking him and just communicating with him. What would my message be? And he told me, you already had it. He told me, you already talked to plenty of people about this before. What do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done? And then I got to thinking, I'm like, I have talked about this, but I've done it in a different perspective. Anytime I've always recruited or talked to a kid in high school with their parents, and then I'll talk to them one-on-one, I'll ask them, what do you want your legacy to be? From when you start to when you leave. And it's basically, brought everything back full circle. What do we want our legacy to be when it's all said and done for us? How do we want to set the blueprints for our future, for our kids to see, the foundation that we laid out? So we have to create that narrative of, okay, I have to activate something deep inside myself in order to get to where I need to be. But I can't do that if I'm not believing in myself, if I'm not putting forth work, if I'm not putting forth effort, if I'm not giving a gratitude of wanting to go after it every single day. You have to have that drive and that why if you want to go forward. You can't keep holding yourself back. Set that blueprint. Create that legacy. Create that momentum so when you get done, it's no way you can be like, man, I wish I could have done that. Or I wish I could have done this. No. Start it. Start that business. Start that clothing line. Start that podcast. Start that YouTube channel. Because it could be God's way of just opening doors for you. You never know. You can't be scared to do what you're always been called to do. And even if you don't know, by just starting something, it's opening doors. And you got to be brave. You got to be smart enough to take that risk. Because you don't want to be working for something that you're not enjoying for the rest of your life. Create that legacy. Walk that blueprint. Walk it. Because as you're creating your blueprint, someone is noticing. And you will be connected with the right people at the right time. God is only going to lead you where you need to be and where he wants you to be. And we don't know what that may be. We don't know how, where, or who. But we have to trust the process. So when you're creating that legacy of what you want it to be, write it out. Just like when we were kids. We wrote everything on a piece of paper. Christmas list, toys we wanted. Same thing you want. Put your vision on that and write at the top, legacy. Just write legacy right down there. And when you start, write it with intention and deliverance. And believe in it. Once you put that positivity mindset out there, it's going to manifest itself. Because you put energy into what you want. And it's going out into the world. So when it's all said and done and you look back at those final footsteps that you left and your kids can see it, the generations after you can see it, you can be proud of yourself for everything you have worked for and you have accomplished. And I believe you with this quote here. Many have not activated who you are because you don't know what you want. Many of us have not activated who we are because many of us don't know what we want. Know what you want. Go after what you want. Don't be afraid. Be afraid to fail before you start winning. And your winning season is coming. I guarantee you.
This whole thing, we look at life like it's about what you can get from life. And I think, I read something, I was like, that's not what it is. You're going to always be unfulfilled if you look at life like that. It's about knowing you're going to leave one day. And, when you leave, the only way you're going to be fulfilled is if you know you gave everything you had.
Really, though.
And you emptied yourself here. And you left it all here because it's temporary and you got a moment.